Today's episode of F1 Manager is a big one. It's the penultimate round of Season 1, the Brazilian Grand Prix Interlagos, and as you can see, we have rain Friday and Sunday, so this could provide a possible opportunity for points. So, before we jump into this, if you haven't seen the last episode at Mexico, go watch it guys, link in the top right. Things are brewing, things are happening, and it's been a rough last couple of races, so go watch. United States Grand Prix as well was a pretty big one, so go check those out, because to be fair, the last three have been pretty bonkers, because we had rain in Japan, which was also really spicy. So yeah, we've been on a pretty good run, but the results haven't been there. Either way, leave a like if you're going to enjoy today's episode, and subscribe for more daily F1 content, and pretty much F1 Manager every 3 to 4 days on the channel. Now, I have an update. After the last race and the performances that we've seen, Lance is not going to have his contract renewed. Besides the fact that we had a bit of a bug with the 1-year contract extension, which he accepted. That aside, I've chosen to scout for replacements. I've gone for 3 drivers. One of them, Nick De Vries. Another one, Daniel Ricciardo. And the other one, Fernando Alonso. So we're looking at the dream team of Fernando and Seb. Taking leaf out of real life, Ricciardo in real life is out of a drive for 2024 or 2023, sorry. So we're going to throw Daniel a lifeline possibly. And if that doesn't work, we can fall back on Nick De Vries, who of course at 27 is going to finally get his F1 break with AlphaTauri in 2023. So I want to give him his break in an Aston Martin instead. So give me your thoughts on that in the comments down below. I'm being realistic here. I'm still kind of, long-term looking at Drogovic. But for now, at least, because of the current contract situation we're in with Stroll, I want to get a driver who isn't spectacular, because I want Seb to be one of the main people in the team. Or someone who is going to be really good, but, is a bit older and is going to deliver instant results, instant performance. So Alonso and Ricciardo are there in the scouting for that reason. Now, as you can see, we have a 13-point deficit to McLaren, which is a massive hill and a mountain to climb. We're going to try and hope it goes our way today. We've been gambling, for a lot of races, just seeing what happens, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. In hindsight, Japan was the silver bullet. Japan was our chance, and we ruined it. So we might get an opportunity today. But for now, let's go into performance targets, and let's get into the weekend. Now, just like the last race, we're guaranteeing P15 or above in qualifying, fastest up in the race, and P15 or above in the race with 1 driver. Very simple guarantees, and the incentives are also there to be done. So let's get into it, and let's see what happens. We've got rain forecast for Friday, so it couldn't interrupt the running.
The carnival atmosphere has already started here in Sao Paulo as Brazil welcomes the Formula 1 Grand Prix. The Autodromo José Carlos Pache has been a staple of the racing calendar for decades, and soon we'll once again be watching the best drivers in the world give it their all. The Sao Paulo track is beautifully designed to present an enticing challenge for teams and drivers alike. Between medium-speed S-corners, hill climbs, and the high-speed section after Junção, this circuit calls for cars to have a balanced setup to succeed here. This is it. We're down to the last few races of the season, and it's time for that final push. Who will be crowned champion at the end of it all? We'll find out soon enough. Let the weekend begin!
I've just noticed as well, after the last race, because Sebastian, of course, was involved in a shunt with Magnussen, the engine that we took has been damaged. Wow. So this is our freshest engine left, 83%. That is a bit of a shocker. Same goes for the ERS. ERS, 87%. This one's on 88. So it's crazy how the car's been damaged. And the gearbox as well, 55%. That's insane. Well, we're going to stick with this gearbox because we don't have many left. Anyway, that aside, let's get into it. So, soft tyres for the first FP1 runs, 18 laps of fuel, conservative modes. Both have a setup that we're going to try out, and they're both running used parts. In Lance's case, he's got a slightly better engine than Seb. But yeah, that aside, let's get into it. So, green flag, the session begins, and you can see we have rain straight away, then a brief stoppage, and then more rain. It's pretty much 80% rain, FP1 and dry at the end. Just to confirm it though, if we look at the water level, shout out to those of you in the comments for saying this. So I believe the blue bar here is the rain level we're going to have. So it's fairly heavy at the start and then fairly light afterwards. So we're probably going to just wait for the rain to fall, send them out on inters, and let them basically run the entire session on just one set of tyres. And we'll make the adjustments if we need to, and we might even get a bit of dry running at the end. We'll see how it goes. And there we go. The rain has begun. I've switched the drivers onto inters, so let's send them out. And let's get this session underway. And yeah, we'll just do some intermediate running, you can see, with the groove tyres as they go out. The rain is picking up quite quickly. As soon as we hit 1.0, that's intermediate conditions. So yeah, this works out fine for us. By the time we start the lap, we'll be intermediates. Let's get to work.
I'm not happy with the car.
What a mess. Yeah, confirm.
Fair enough, not ideal then. So we could pit, make the changes and go back out on the same set of tyres. They're only on 81%, so they're pretty fresh. Looking at the forecast, we've got a bit of a meh period by the looks of it. The worst of the rain's behind us. So yeah, I think we're going to box. Okay, let's see what this does with Stroll. He's not particularly happy with anything really, but yeah, I'm going to flip most of the bad ones. The ones on good also need a bit of a change. I don't think we're going to get that far with this, but it will give us a bit more of an indication as to where to go with certain things. I'm a bit in the dark right now. Okay then, let's see how this goes for Sebastian. This is pretty good. This, dare I say, could be great. Everything lined up straight away and made a lot of sense, so I'm a bit more confident with this. Both drivers are going to go back out for 20 laps on the intermediate and just basically run until the track dries. So the rain has just stopped, but we still have a fair bit of dampness on the circuit, so we'll leave them out there and see what information they get. I think we will get the setup knowledge in time, as Perez makes a mistake. A few drivers making errors to be fair, but we should get the setup feedback in. I think on the inters, to be fair, we might just go away with it.
It's not bad. I think it's okay.
Car was great. Copy.
So Seb was happy. We will bring them in and call it, as they're still in the inters and the track's bone dry. So there we go. I think that's going to be us done for FP1. We'll continue in FP2. Okay, now I'm pretty confident this is going to work out with Sebastian just fine. I don't know if it'll be 100, but it should hopefully be in the greats if it goes according to plan. This is much more in the right ballpark. We're going to go for 18 laps and we'll go conserve modes on softs with him. So same thing for Lance. I'm pretty confident this is now a bit more in the right ballpark. I don't know if we'll get great, but I'm hoping at least 80% plus with this and we can start to really tweak it. Both drivers on the softs. Let's get to work.
We are expecting rain pretty soon.
Yeah,
Interesting. I didn't actually look at the forecast. I kind of assumed we'd had the rain already, but clearly not. Okay, we've got a bit of a patch coming up here.
How does it feel, Lance?
Okay, not bad.
well done. Car was great.
Copy.
We'll leave them out there for a bit longer as we have more rain inbound, and then that should be the last of it. Okay, with Stroll, I'm pretty happy with this. This, I think, is looking decent. Braking stability was the issue. Oversteer optimal. Straights was out of bounds, so we brought that in line. I'm happy with this. We're both going to go for hard tyres. I think that's going to be the right selection, and we're going to let them run till the end of the session. I've brought the drivers in a bit earlier than the rain actually ending, so that we can go straight back out the second the track's ready to go. And here's Seb's setup. So we have optimal on traction and braking stability. I've moved the traction slightly out of optimal. I hope it doesn't change. If it does, I know where to go, but everything else kind of lines up and makes a lot of sense. So let's see how this goes.
I'm happy with the car.
Yeah, copy that.
Nice. Love to see it. Let's see what Seb has to say. Hopefully it's positive as well.
Car was great.
Yeah, confirm.
Not exactly ideal. I was hoping for a bit more than that, but anyway, we'll let them run until the session ends, and yeah, we'll get that knowledge and move into FP3.
We'll be kicking off today with the final practice before moving on to the qualifying session. While many eyes may be drifting ahead to the big race, the teams and their drivers will be fully focused on the task at hand here today. Those who make the most of the free practice sessions will head into qualifying knowing that they've given it their all and done everything in their power to cement themselves a good, strong position on the asphalt tomorrow. Stay with us as we see who can deliver on motorsport's biggest stage.
This is the worst case scenario when everything is great. I hate this. I mean, the cornering is out of bounds, so I know where to go to get this in, but everything else I'm going to keep the same, I think. And there we go, just a few adjustments. Just by bringing the cornering in the bracket, everything else kind of just tweaks a little bit, so we should start to see some optimals now. So we are in the right ballpark with Seb. I'm confident this will kind of do the job. 15 lap run plan, and we'll co-conserve again. As for Lance, one small tweak. I'm going one click to the left on the toe out to move the braking stability one click to the left to see if we can get that optimal and get 100%. Not really happy with that, but we're getting closer. But it's all or nothing now. This next run has to be perfect. I didn't quite get the feedback with Lance, but braking stability. Now with Lance, we ran out of fuel. I didn't get the feedback that I wanted, but the braking stability was the one, and we now have that on optimal, so I'm confident this is going to be it. So, medium tyres, we're just going to put them out there to rack up laps, because track acclimatization is down quite a lot, so we want to make sure we get loads of running in. So, let's just send them out, basically, and get them ready. As for Seb, I think this will be closer to being a step in the right direction, but we'll see. We've got a couple of optimals, which we're not going to lose, so hopefully it's only up from here. I don't think we'll get 100%, but it is what it is. We'll go for 23 laps and then we'll just send them out and let them run. Just for the record, Lance has 100%, so those adjustments were correct. We just got him now running to pick up 100% track acclimatization. Seb is on 79, so he's a lot closer. So let's hope we get what we want at the end of this.
Car was amazing.
Yep.
I'll take that, I'm happy with that. I'll see if maybe we still adjust things, but for the most part, I'm glad we managed to salvage that. Right, job done for practice. Verstappen setting the pace, this time on mediums, which is surprising. Further down, P17, P18 on mediums for us, matching Schumacher, which is encouraging. So yeah, job done. Elsewhere, we get maximum scores. As you can see, 15 out of 15, that's all that matters. So we're going to run with this and hope for the best. Seb's best gearbox has 64%, which is ropey, but that's what we have. I don't really want to take another pen if I can avoid it, but I'll consider, if qualifying's an absolute stinker, we might consider it. So yeah, both drivers on 3 flying laps, and Lance has the benefit of better engine parts than Sebastian and gearbox, but yeah, we're going to get into it and see what happens. So clear track, both of our boys are out there, and we're going to have no traffic on this first lap. Sebastian, purple in sector 1, Stroll not able to match. 2 purple sectors for Seb, lap 1, and Vettel is 2/10 quicker. Lap 2 about to begin, and we're going to have Leclerc going to get in the way of Stroll through turns 1, 2, 3. And I think Stroll made an error anyway. He's going off at turn number 4, so yeah, that's far from ideal.
Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. Oh dear, that's far wider than they would have wanted.
So Stroll going for the Verstappen-Hamilton 2021 line through there. But yeah, that Ferrari just went off, I think. But Seb's still on the lap. Let's see what he does. Does he go personal best? No, he doesn't. Does he improve overall across the line? Let's find out. No, he doesn't. Right, one more lap. Let's see if any of our boys find some more pace. I think tyre wear is really high here, though. By the looks of it, we'll have to bear that in mind for the race because neither driver's improving. So I think we're only getting one lap around here. One and done. Tyre wear seems too high. Okay, so out on track as we get ready for the final runs. To be fair, I don't know what everyone else is going to do, but Sebastian is not a million miles away from Ricciardo and Tsunoda here, and he's ahead of Schumacher, so we'll see. I'm expecting Schumacher to improve, considering where Magnussen is, but still, you never know. We might have a chance here. Let's find out. Stroll, though, begins the lap. He's already got through the first couple of corners. Let's see what his first sector is. It's a personal best. Sebastian just up the road on a personal best as well. Sector 2, nice and clean so far. Checkered flag drops. Let's see. A few lap times starting to come in. The Williams have already finished their laps. Schumacher improves, but only P16. Seb on a personal best. Tsunoda has also finished his lap, and so has Ricciardo. If Seb could find 2/10, you never know. This could be the play. Across the line, Sebastian first. Is it enough? He finds a 10th and a half. Stroll finds less than a 10th. Damn. Well, that's that. Mamma mia. So, Verstappen, 1 minute 8.8, quickest of everyone. And we're out. Although, the closest we've been in a long time. You know, we've had a few double Q1 knockouts recently, but this has been an improvement. Now, the question is, do I take an engine penalty with Seb and take the pain because we have a wet race? Okay, so this is the forecast for the race. We have rain. Starts off with light rain, heavy rain, light rain, heavy rain, light rain, and then dry at the very end. So there might be a bit of a strategy change. There could be some full wets being deployed as well with the heavy rain. You can see we're going to have a pretty big amount of water in 3 different points in this race. Especially, this could be the deciding point of the race. Right here, you might see some people go for the full wets. Maybe if we can see it through on the Inter, it could be worth a gamble. So, let's see. The Inters last a while, so we'll start on the Inter in principle. And we'll see how it goes. Now for Sebastian, I've taken the plunge. I've gone for it. I'm going to take the penalty. The main thing was the gearbox. Engine as well. ERS was fine. I've got a couple on like 88, 86, but I'm doing these two, so I might as well take an ERS as well. Anyway, that side, both drivers starting on the intermediate. They're both underfueled by 1 lap to have a slightly lighter car and a bit more competitive car at the start. And yeah, we're going to see where other things take us. You know, it's going to be a fun race, and I'm keen to see what happens. And yeah, even though a few penalties meant we start in P14, P15, Seb's going to drop back, but we've got a chance for Lance to fight forward here. But I want to take this engine because in the next race, Abu Dhabi Power Circuit, I want to have that full power. So yeah, let's get into it.
We have a little bit of rain here. I expect most of the teams are hoping that's as bad as it gets. Looking at Lance Stroll. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. And we're just moments away now. And now, it's time for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So underway then, Seb from the back, Stroll from P14, Magnussen with a flyer off the line, and Stroll going backwards. Seems like some drivers are going pretty aggressive early on. Keep an eye on it.
Stay cool, man. You're doing a good job.
Already a big breakaway. Here you can see the car's head. Tsunoda's on full wets. And so is Pierre Gasly. That might explain why the AlphaTauris are off the pace. That's very interesting from them. They've gone for
Is that a lockup?
the Hockenheim 2018 strats with Pierre. So yeah, important that we try and get by here, Seb. So let's try and get this move done, mate. Let's get by if we can. Stroll back to P14 after what happened there. Seb gets past. Oh no, he's still stuck behind. Come on, let's try and get Tsunoda here, Sebastian. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Okay, so I wasn't tripping. Seb did pass one, but it was Gasly's. He's passed both. Right, that's that. So, we can now settle into the race.
Great play there. They've moved up a place.
So let's see. Rain currently damp. More rain on the way in 2 minutes inbound. You can see it's going to be light for now, but it will start to intensify, especially in about 10 laps time. So we'll keep an eye on that. Crash. Multiple cars crashed. Who is it? It's, oh my god, is it the AlphaTauris again? Gasly has a penalty.
Sounds like there's been contact. We can take a look now. Now look at this. It was
Oh
the
my god.
AlphaTauri driver involved.
Yet again. Friendly fire in the AlphaTauri camp.
There's the
Wow. Franz Tost is going to be fuming. For the second race in a row, both AlphaTauris come together. And I think for the third time this season, they've crashed between themselves. Anyway, as I was saying, Stroll, fantastic so far. He's just dropped back a little bit, but he's still kind of with the train, you know, this kind of top 14 group. Seb lost a bit too much stuck behind the two AlphaTauris in the wet tyre, but still, it is what it is. Playing the long game. Strategy is going to be key. I'm hoping, obviously, Seb's new engine will help him catch up. Never mind. What is it at the minute? The last 4 races, or 3 races.
Oh, big lock up there. Here's the replay. Taking a look again, It involves Sebastian Vettel. That lockup could have cost them dearly.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was already miles behind. That's not going to help. We've got another crash. Who is it involving this time? I think it's safety car. Okay. Aha. Zhou Guanyu at turn 1. He's one of them.
It's a crash, and it's more than one car. Let's have a look. Now, just watch the Mercedes here.
So Zhou Guanyu versus George Russell. Zhou.
Goodness
Yep.
me, that is a serious collision.
That's a big shunt. Okay. Well then, safety car brings us back into the race. Now, is it worth pitting? Not really. Weather forecast, the rain's about to get a bit mad. It's about to kick off, but it's only brief. So ideally, we don't want to fall into the temptation. I think if we just go for like an inter and then another inter, we could even maybe go into the end. Depends how long this rain stretches and how wet the actual circuit is. But I think an inter could be the shout, you know. So we'll leave them out. Okay, George Russell in the pit lane, as you can see, serving also repairs. So that's going to move 7 to P15, Stroll up to P12. The bad news, Ricciardo's P10, Norris is P8. We have to get ahead of the McLarens, man. And it's going to come down to strategy. Right now, we're in full conserve to try and save tyres and also get some fuel back. Right then, here's the restart. I would normally set the drivers to push, but this heavy rain that's about to arrive in 1 minute is going to make things really spicy. So watch the rain here.
And when we restart, overtaking will be from the control line.
Yeah.
So lapped car hasn't been allowed to overtake. So please don't cost us time like in the first in on the full wet. Please just move out of the way. Clearly don't understand how blue flags work. Something's happened, and again, Seb's lost time. Oh, God. The AlphaTauris, they just messed this race up for Sebastian anyway. I mean, I know Seb made a mistake, but twice now. Look at the gap. Look at the gap. That's just ridiculous, man. Anyway, let's see if Seb can get past Latifi. Russell's going to be looking to fight back ASAP. Stroll chilling, although he has Ocon for company, who is probably faster. Meanwhile, Sebastian putting the pressure on Latifi here. Neither driver able to make moves. Stroll keeps Ocon at bay. Seb able to pass Latifi. I am going to try and go for this because Latifi's just a mobile chicane at this point. We have to clear. And Russell is going through at the same time. Fight back, Seb. Come on, let's try and get that Dan Williams out of the way. There's Ocon going through. Russell gets past Sebastian. But Seb fights back. Come on, good scrap this. Important to get Latifi now. Come on, go, get him. Get that Williams out of the way. Come on, honestly.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Go, go. There we go. Okay, nice. Now we can just go standard modes. Very important to get past Latifi, man. Okay, now interestingly, the worst of the rain has come and gone. So we could be in for a dry patch now. Meanwhile, Russell looking to get past Sebastian. The rain seems to have stopped at 2.5. So we might not be seeing the full wet. I'll be more expecting them though in the second phase. I think we might see them here. But let's see how the weather progresses for now. There goes Russell. I don't believe it.
We can take a look now. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. And yes,
what's happening?
That's where they spin out.
What's happening? Well, that's Sebastian out of the running. I literally just turned the engine up as well. I'm going to be honest. Ever since we signed that damn contract, he's just making constant errors now. Verstappen's had a spin, and it was a big one as well.
They spun the car. What a disaster.
Well, yeah, but he actually dropped down to P9, so Max losing a big chunk of time. Norris up to P7 now. Anyway, I've had Stroll pushing. He's used up a big chunk of battery, but he's back with the kind of battle now for the 10 of the points. So Russell getting past Stroll, exact same move as he done on Sebastian Vettel. Carbon copy up the inside of the double right-hander, and he gets it done in the slow section. So yeah, to be expected. Okay, Carlos Sainz is in the pit lane. Let's have a gander. Another set of intermediates. Perez in the pit lane. Now then, Leclerc in the pit lane. Bottas is going to lead the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is insane. Hamilton now the next car to pit. Stroll currently battling with Hamilton, and Hamilton swoops around the outside as we watch it live. Now the rain's going to pick up in 4 minutes. Lando Norris pits, that's big. And he's going to be behind Stroll, which is important for us. He was the main thing I was worried about. Alonso's P10 right now after doing his stop. But yeah, ideally everybody stops for another set of inters and we just firm it on these. And then hopefully we can go for another set of inters and go long. Ocon in the pit lane now. It's all moving. Right, this is it. We're currently driving into this phase. I really hope it just picks up a little bit more. I'm not too confident though. I don't think it's going to be wet enough for the full wets. Looking at these peaks. The highest peak's coming in now. But this is it. This is all or nothing. Seb's about to run out of tyres. So looking at where he is on track, we're going to bring him in this lap for a fresh set of intermediates. And we'll bring Stroll in on the next lap. So let's get with Seb here. As Ocon overtakes Stroll. Sebastian Vettel.
Pit lane.
Let's watch the stop. Hopefully. Nice and quick. We don't get a replay cam, but it's a 4.5. Pit stop error. Who knows? Anyway. Let's bring Lance in this lap for the one stop. Meanwhile, here comes Lance into the pit lane. Let's see if it's a bit of more of a smooth stop for him. Rain inbound in 1 minute. So I want to see this go up to 4, if not more. It's a nice smooth stop for Lance, 2.6, and back underway for him. So no dramas there. Weather has changed, and no change to the dampness. It has changed a little bit in terms of the forecast. I'm really just hanging on to faith here for the full wet. This doesn't look very good. At all. No rain. Weather change again. The peak isn't as high yet again. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen. Kevin Magnussen in the pit lane. As you can see. So Stroll will be ahead. Seb will be behind. So yeah, the Haas will split us, but he's going to be on fresh tyres. Bottas finally pits. And Verstappen pits as well. Mick Schumacher made a mistake and has now pit. So that's Stroll P12 and Seb P14. Sainz not too far behind now. We're looking to maybe get lapped here at this rate. Norris is P6. This is not looking good at all. And Ricciardo's P11, so he's on the cusp of points. Rain about to drop under 2, but more rain inbound in 2 minutes time. I feel like it's just going to sit there in that kind of 2.5 range the whole race. We're already over the worst of the peak, so this rain is it. So we will see dry tyres. The question is, can we time it right? And the rain has officially stopped. So, this is it. The rain has picked up in bits, and we're at 2.5 yet again. But we're now going to be hitting a drying track. No more rain. So, I'm going to let the drivers push. Tyres overheating, but let's go.
Okay.
Use the tyres, and now it's all about timing a switch to dryers. Now, I'm going to take a bit of false hope from Japan. You know, the Japanese Grand Prix. Where we still had chances to get back in the race. You know, some cars stayed on inters, so let's see what happens. Hamilton's made a big mistake.
Let's take a look at the replay. Now, just watch the Mercedes here. Oh, and there's the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
That's a big error from Hamilton. He's lost a lot of time. That mistake has given Norris P7, so yeah, it just feels like from McLaren it's all going their way right now. Hopefully Hamilton, Perez and Russell can all get ahead of Norris, man, and just try and, you know, restore some normality. But we're about to hit dry tyres now, so important phase here. This is going to be the lap, I think, if not the very next one. We could probably stack as well, we've got a safe margin. I'm going to go now 1.15. I think that's worth a gamble. So let's get them ready. We're going to go for mediums. Tire wear's pretty high. So I'd rather avoid the softs if I can, because they're not going to last. But this is it. It's time to pit for the dryers. By the time the pit stop's all finished and done, it will be 1.0 dry tyre. So Stroll in, followed by Seb, as you can see. Hopefully no dramas, it's a nice clean stop. That's 1 in and out. 2.4, excellent stop. As for Seb, it's a 2.9. Seb keeps taking L's, whether it's by his own accord or by the team. Track under 1 now, so we're the first cars on to dries. So let's get back to work. DRS enabled. Let's see if we can make the dryers work. I want to see if there's any visible instant performance here. You know, as soon as you hit the track, can you see it? We will go push early on just to try and make some progress on this first lap. You can see we're still not great at overtaking. Are more cars going to pit? That's the question. As Stroll looks to get by, Magnussen is in. So most of the others are still staying out. So we might have a chance here to recover. Now Sainz is in, so we'll unlap ourselves. Leclerc stays out. She's got Sebastian for company, who's looking to unlap himself. This is a recipe for time loss, essentially. You can see Seb's not going to pass him, but now everybody's in. The dance begins. Will Stroll get anything out of this? 27 seconds from Ricciardo. You can see the gap coming down where he's making progress on the medium. I think the AI are going to go for softs. Yes, they are. So different compound. They're all going for used softs as well, which is interesting. So new fastest out from Lance. You can see there's Ricciardo. So yeah, we're done. That was our chance. Ocon, Norris is still in inters. Maybe there's something in it for us. There, something happens.
Oh, we've had a spin.
And as I say that,
We can take a look now. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
so Lando with a spin out the hairpin.
And
On the
there it
softs.
is. That's
Well, I think it's on inters, right? Okay, it's on softs. It's updated. That was a bit of a glitch there. Anyway, look at this. Lando has got himself into P4. Although now he's going to pit.
overtake there.
I think it's on inters. I think the game's bugged out. I saw him on inters just now, so a bit of a glitch. So Lando does pit. That's going to help us a little bit, as he'll drop down the order a bit, so that's good. That's fine. As for us, though, you can see we're behind Magnussen, who's on softs. Everybody has pit now. Lando back underway. Hamilton ahead. Perez should be also ahead. And Russell just behind. So Lando P9, Ricciardo P11. And we're P13, P14 respectively. Carlos Sainz in the pit lane. That's interesting.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
So Carlos gives up the win to Leclerc. Couldn't make his tyres last. I mean, to be fair, a lot of these guys are pitting again. They're low on tyre wear, but I don't see why they pit now. Either way, Stroll to P12. I'll take a few more of those, to be fair. If more cars are going to pit, that might just give us a bump. Norris, they're back into P7, Ricciardo P9. It's literally pointless. Any chance we have of points, it's just going to benefit the McLarens. So then, Charles Leclerc making his way through, and he's going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. No idea why Sainz pit. Baffling. Also, Alonso is going to pick up a phenomenal podium. Verstappen's going to race him to the line, but it's not enough.
That's Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is today's winner.
Further back, Hamilton trying to steal P7 from Lando Norris. Will he get it? It's going to be a drag race. Looks like Lando's got it covered though. No light flashing, so he's got energy to burn. Hamilton with the DRS, but it's a short run to the line. Not enough. Ricciardo on for P9. Perez on for the last point. Magnussen just misses out. Russell as well. Stroll P13 and Sebastian P14. It's mad Seb's even that far behind considering the amount of mistakes he's made this race. His pace was actually really strong, but we could have got points with Seb had he made no errors today, but that's, you know, what if. Anyway.
Let's check his flag.
Well in, Lance, mate. That was a pretty good performance from Lance, to be fair. I can't complain. Kept it relatively clean. And there's Seb across the line. Wow. What an L. Now, from the team's perspective, it's a good result for the boardroom because we're getting both cars in the top 15. But it wasn't the race that I hoped for. We didn't finish a lap down in the end, so we got away with that. But still, not what I wanted. frustrating. In hindsight, would we have been better off not taking the engine penalty with Sebastian and having him start P14? And then he wouldn't have been caught up in the AlphaTauri mess? Maybe. But would he have made the mistakes? Again, who knows? I feel like we just can't really rely on them at the minute. Neither driver is performing in terms of, reliability. The pace is okay, but errors every race. Championship-wise, Seb down to P40 now. Ricciardo overtakes him as Ricciardo, as you can see, finished to P9. Lando P7, so it's done. Forget about it. Dusted. McLaren finished P7. So yeah, that was it. That was a wet race. That was our only hope. It didn't actually go to full wets. The Constructors is going to go down to the last race. Ferrari overtake Red Bull going into the finale, so that's going to be spicy. Drivers' Championship, Verstappen versus Sainz. Leclerc, even with the win today, is out of the running officially. Perez also out of the running. Hamilton as well. So Verstappen versus Carlos. Ferrari versus Red Bull. A few battles to go on. We're going to finish P8, so that's it for us this season. Anyway, outside of that, we get some extra points. To be fair, Stroll's a pretty decent haul, so happy with that. Development point for both, so we'll go spend that right now, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right then, so first of all, debrief. High-speed cornering of car 1 could be better, which we know about. Adaptability of Sebastian could be improved. That's a new one, which we'll look at. Boardroom, happy. Confidence has gone up after that race, so I'm glad that's something, because we've got the review next week, so yeah, important that we impress, and we need to have a strong final race. That's why, in a way, I wanted to take the engine penalty with Sebastian, because I want to try and do well at least one car in Abu Dhabi. Anyway, with that said, let's go and spend the development point. So, adaptability was recommended. Looking at this, braking, cornering can still do with some work. But we'll go adaptability. I'll go with what the transcript said. If we can do adaptability and braking and bring both of those up to 80, and then we can hopefully start to work on cornering a bit, that would be pretty good for us. As for Lance, we'll go for, braking's still a weakness for him, but I'm going to treat him this time. I'm going to go for a bit of cornering, as we've been doing braking with Lance for so long now. We haven't actually improved his skill, so Lance can have a bit of cornering to improve. Does Drogovic have a point? Yes, he does. So we'll spend his point on. We'll go for accuracy with him. And then do we have any staff points to use? Yes, we do. So T Chuang has one. So we'll go ahead and invest it on chassis. Could have gone for suspension, to be fair, as well. Martin Werner has none. Chris Cronin has none. And Ben Mitchell also has none. So there we go. We've spent all of our points. And we've got the next race in 4 days' time. So short turnaround. We've got the wind tunnel upgrade coming in. And then, as you can see, end of season. And straight away, we've got car part development locked. And then we have the design center upgrade. And then the board assessment. And then after that, we have the CFD simulator. So a few things are arriving. We've got more down the line, of course, with the scouting. So things are happening in the next episode. But yeah, happy days all round. Things are going well. There's confirmation of the new wind tunnel, which is big for next season's car, of course. And, other upgrades you might want to bring. So there, confirmation. You can see it's quite a hefty expenditure, but it's going to improve drag reduction, airflow. So yeah, it's going to mean pretty big improvements across the board, for the entire car performance. We've got the preview, which isn't really important besides what I mentioned about the fight for the titles. Up and coming driver, Isaac Kadar. We've already, scouted him. Not really too fast at the moment. All of our scouts are taking up, scouting drivers, so not really a concern. But yeah. That is it, guys. The finale. Yas Marina. We'll be back for the next episode. And we'll see what happens. On paper, it doesn't suit our car. But from my experience this season, the tracks that should have suited our car haven't actually been that great in terms of races. So anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Apologies for the last couple of episodes, man. That's the thing. I don't drive. I can't control this. It's out of my hands. But the levels have dropped substantially. But yeah, hopefully you're still enjoying the series, guys. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the content. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and let's go back from here.